Hello everyone. Before we begin, a quick reminder. Any form of recording, whether audio or video, as well as screen capturing or sharing of this webinar is prohibited. We appreciate your cooperation. Our presentation will begin soon. Thank you.
Hello everyone and welcome. Thank you for taking the time to join us today for OwlTing Group's Investor Day. My name is Henry and I serve as Investor Relations Director here at OwlTing Group. It's my pleasure to host today's program. We are excited to have you with us as we share the OwlTing story, our vision, strategy, and financial performance, and outline why we believe the company is uniquely positioned for its next chapter as a Nasdaq-listed company under the proposed ticker symbol OWLS. Before we begin, I would like to remind everyone that today's presentation may include forward-looking statements. These are based on current expectations and assumptions, but actual results could differ materially due to risk and uncertainties. Please review our filings with the SEC, including our Form F1, for more detail. Now, let me introduce today's presenters. Leading the discussion is Darren Wang, our founder and Chief Executive Officer, who brings more than a decade of experience in blockchain and fintech. Joining him is Winnie, our Chief Financial Officer, with deep expertise in capital markets and financial strategy. We'll also hear from Hsieh, our co-founder and Chief Technology Officer, who oversees technology development across the company. And finally, Chen, our Chief Technology Architect, who will share how we are building OwlPay into a truly global settlement network. With that, I will now hand things over to Darren to begin the presentations.
Hi, I'm Darren Wang, founder and CEO of OwlTing Group. I founded the company in 2010, and a few years later, in 2013, I witnessed the rise of Bitcoin. By 2014, I had the privilege of supporting some of the earliest crypto exchange and dozens of blockchain companies. In 2017, we brought blockchain technology into real-world industry like agriculture, food safety, and hospitality. From our deep experience in hospitality, I realized that the biggest challenge wasn't just technology. It was cross-border payment, especially from online travel agencies. Those early experiments shaped my vision for OwlTing, to build a blockchain-powered platform that transforms the way payment and commerce work globally. Today, OwlTing has evolved into a stablecoin infrastructure company. I would like to invite you to look back on our journey and join us in shaping the future of payment together. Let me start with who we are today. OwlTing began in Taiwan in 2010 as an e-commerce company. Over the years, we have expanded into payment, hospitality, and e-commerce.
Our mission is clear: to use blockchain technology to provide business with more reliable and transparent data management and reinvent global flow of funds for business and consumers.
Among our business lines, payment is a clear growth engine. OwlPay delivers a full-stack suite, from gateways, wallets, to on-offering settlement, enabling enterprise to move money seamlessly at scale. Our hospitality brings in recurring revenue, supporting over 2,500 hotels through outnets and OTA integrations. And our e-commerce marketplace serves as our incubator, connecting small business to global consumers while accelerating adoption of our stablecoin network. Our journey has always been about innovation. We started with OwlTing Market, connecting farmers and small business directly with consumers. They became the foundation for our blockchain traceability solution, OwlTing Blockchain Service, which later expanded into hospitality and ultimately payment.
Along the way, we've earned the backing of strategic investors from SBI Holdings, Stellar Foundation, and several other institutions.
In 2021, we began applying for a global license with stablecoin infrastructure at the core across US, Japan, EU, and beyond. In 2023, we launched OwlPay and acquired PayNow, giving us the on-off-ramp and settlement infrastructure to power both fiat and stablecoin transactions. This positions us strongly in the cross-border payment market as we move toward our Nasdaq listing. Building on our history, here's how the value proposition comes together. The problem is clear. Traditional cross-border payment remains slow, costly, and difficult for small business to access. Our solution has been an evolution. We began with e-commerce to build trust and traceability, expanding into hospitality for recurring revenue and stock customer stickiness. And now we have built OwlPay, a compliance-first stablecoin infrastructure that makes global settlement instant, low-cost, and scalable. The opportunity is compelling. OwlTing is positioned at the intersection of a multi-trillion-dollar cross-border payment market and the accelerating of adoption of stablecoin. With ecosystem feeders from e-commerce and hospitality, we are uniquely prepared to drive stablecoin-based payment into mainstream global commerce. With the foundation, let's take a closer look at the industry landscape. Let me start with our business. At OwlTing, everything we do is about building the future infrastructure of stablecoin and payment. Our journey began from farm to table, not only selling agriculture products online, but also applying blockchain traceability to food supply chains. This gave us both real commerce and trusted data as the foundation of our ecosystem. From there, we moved into hospitality solution, which today powers more than 2,500 hotels and B&B worldwide. Hospitality didn't just bring recurring revenue and global reach, it revealed a much bigger challenge. OTAs and hotels struggle with cross-border payout. Settlement is slow, costly, and fragmented across markets. The problem led us to build OwlPay, a compliance-first infrastructure for payment. By integrating gateways, wallet, and settlement, OwlPay enables OTAs and hospitality partners to pay hotels and B&B worldwide instantly and cost-efficiently using both fiat and stablecoin. This is how our ecosystem comes together. Commerce gives us trust, hospitality gives us scale and a real-world problem, and OwlPay delivers the solution, next-generation rails for global payment. Payments are our growth engine and our future vision. From the very beginning, we recognize blockchain's immense potential to move money more efficiently. That's why in 2023, we launched OwlPay, and why payments are now at the center of everything we do.
Today, OwlPay combines both compliance and technology advantage. In the US, we already hold money transmitter license in 35 states, with a roadmap toward near nationwide coverage.
In Japan, we are actively progressing through application for all three major financial licenses, which once obtained, will allow us to operate as the only non-bank with this full regulatory set. In the EU, we are upgrading from VASP to CAS under MiCA, further strengthening our presence. On the technology side, we support multi-chain stablecoin, Circle's CCTP, and Stellar's Anchor integration, all reducing friction in the cross-border flows. And importantly, payments don't just stand alone. They are seamlessly fed by our hospitality and e-commerce ecosystem, giving us natural transaction volume and distribution. As a result, we are scaling rapidly. GPV has grown over 60% year-on-year. Active accounts continue to rise, and payments have already become our largest revenue driver. With both the compliance foundation and the technology stack in place, OwlPay is positioned to capture the rising opportunities in digital payment and to build a stablecoin infrastructure for the next decade of global commerce. And when we talk about opportunity, it's important to step back and look at the scale of the market we are operating in. Payment isn't just our growth engine. It's one of the largest and most resilient industries in the world. In 2023, global payments generated $2.4 trillion in revenue, and the number is projected to reach $3.1 trillion by 2028. Cross-border alone already accounts for nearly $288 billion in revenue, growing at more than 20% year on year.
Within that, two segments stand out. First, the B2B cross-border payment, which is a $210 billion market, growing at double digits in 2023. And second, remittance that remain high cost, fragmented, and ripe for disruption.
This is a massive and resilient industry, but legacy rails remain slow, expensive, and opaque. That's exactly where OwlPay's blockchain infrastructure comes in, offering speed, cost efficiency, and transparency for both enterprise and consumers. All of this sets the stage for why OwlPay matters. But the real strength of our platform isn't just the vision of the market. It's the way we have architected the technology to make it real. And to walk you through how we are doing that and why OwlPay is already scaling so effectively, I'd like to invite our CTO, Chen, to take you inside OwlPay.
Thank you, Darren. Traditional cross-border payments remain slow, expensive, and inefficient. Multiple correspondent banks, FX spreads, and legacy systems create friction, delay, and cost. OwlPay flips that model. By leveraging blockchain rails, we enable settlement that is real-time, transparent, and fraud-resistant. Just as importantly, OwlPay supports both fiat and stablecoin transactions, giving enterprises the flexibility to choose how they want to move money. In essence, we are replacing outdated rails with blockchain settlement infrastructure, purpose-built for the digital economy, all within a compliant-first framework that bridges clients' Web2 habits with Web3 efficiency. Several powerful forces are accelerating this adoption. First, regulation. Frameworks like the US Genius Act, Europe's MiCA, and Asia's pilot programs are bringing clarity. Second, usage. Stablecoins are expanding beyond trading into mainstream finance, from retail to treasury workflows. Third, institutions. Leaders like BlackRock, Visa, and JP Morgan are already integrating stablecoins. And finally, conviction. Landmark IPOs, such as Circles, have strengthened investor belief in the market's long-term future. All of this sets the stage for why OwlPay matters. But the real strength of our platform lies in how we've architected it. From infrastructure rails to custody to cross-chain connectivity, it's the technology foundation that transforms vision into execution. To take you deeper into how OwlPay is built and why it is already scaling so effectively, I'd now like to hand it over to our Chief Technology Architect, Maras, who has led the design of the system from the inside out.
Thanks, John. Let me take you a level deeper into OwlPay. Our platform is transforming global payments. OwlPay is designed as a full-stack payment suite, bringing together stablecoin and fiat rails to serve enterprises and individuals with a scale, security, and flexibility. Our architecture is built around three core pillars.
First, payment infrastructure. By cooperating with service providers such as NIA, OwlTing is able to support customers in funding with 6 different fiat currencies, and access in converting this into over 40 currencies, allowing payments to be made to more than 119 plus regions. This includes gateway for routine remittances as well as supplier cross-verification, giving business a reliable foundation for global transactions.
Second, treasury and custody. OwlTing Wallet Pro delivers a security, storage, and management for both custody and non-custody needs. This enables corporates and individuals to run treasury operations smoothly, whether in the stablecoins or traditional bank accounts with a clear roadmap toward a wallet as a service. Third, connectivity and integration. Through the OwlTing Harbor, let me turn now to one of our most important infrastructure initiatives. OwlTing Harbor is our proprietary API package that enables fiat to stablecoin conversion, cross-chain transfers, and enterprise-grade payout rails. It is purpose-built for wallets, financial institutions, and platforms that require robust blockchain payment infrastructure. What makes OwlTing Harbor so powerful is the breadth of its connectivity. We support EVM-compatible chains, Solana, and Stellar, and we operate as an official Stellar anchor with direct integrations into Circle and Coinbase Prime. This allows partners to move seamlessly between fiat and stablecoin without friction. We've also embedded practical on- and off-ramp capabilities through the partnerships with MoneyGram and MoonPay, along with wire and ACH rails for businesses. Payouts can be made in USDC or in more than 10 local currencies, positioning OwlTing Harbor as a true bridge between digital assets and the traditional payment systems. Finally, our cross-chain protocol enables payments to move fluidly across networks. For example, a transaction initiated on Ethereum can be settled on Polygon. We manage the technical complexity in the background while monetizing through a take rate model. Taken together, OwlTing is a comprehensive enterprise-grade platform for digital payments. And with OwlTing Harbor as its core, we are building a foundation for interoperability at scale and positioning ourselves at the center of a blockchain-powered global commerce. Now, I will pass the time to Darren.
By bridging the Web 2 and Web 3 world, business can accept USDC and still settle in fiat, or the other way around. That lowers the barrier for mainstream companies and makes adoption practical, not just intimidating. We've partnered with Stellar Foundation and were officially designated as Stellar Anchor earlier this year. That gives us a central role in powering on-off-ramp USDC on Stellar. Our platform is built for blockchain interoperability. We already support EVM-compatible chains, and we are expanding to Solana, making sure OwlTing works wherever our customers want to transact. On the client side, corporates are already leveraging Wallet Pro to convert USDC to US dollars for treasury operations. There's really utility at scale, and we are seeing momentum in growing corridors, serving small business engaged in cross-border e-commerce between Asia, US, Europe. Finally, our ecosystem linkage means that hospitality feeds directly into OwlTing adoption, creating a natural pipeline for growth. Now, let me turn it over to Gina, our head of legal in the US, to walk you through how OwlTing has built and continues to expand its deep compliance and security mode.
Thank you, Darren. My name's Gina, and I head the US legal team here at OwlTing. Payments only scale if they're trusted, and that is why OwlPay has been built with a compliance-first mindset. In the United States, we are registered as a money services business and have already secured multiple state money transmitter licenses. Beyond the United States, our regulatory coverage is equally strong. In Japan, we hold an electric payment instrument service provider license. We are registered as a virtual currency service provider in Poland and are preparing for authorization as both a crypto asset service provider and an electric money institution in Europe. In addition, license applications are already underway in Singapore, Hong Kong, and Latin America, as well as 2 others pending in Japan. This multi-jurisdiction foundation is not just a checklist, it's a moat. It creates high barriers to entry and positions OwlPay as a partner of choice for global financial institutions. And licensing is only part of the story. Our infrastructure is built to enterprise-grade standards, robust AML controls, HSM secured systems, ISO and PCI certifications, and advanced cybersecurity protections. Taken together, our regulatory depth and technical resilience create a durable competitive edge, enabling OwlPay to scale globally with confidence, and making compliance not only a requirement, but a cornerstone of our growth strategy. Now, I'll hand it back to Darren.
Now, we'll walk through the key investment highlights that show why OwlTing is so well positioned for the future of payment. We have been at this for nearly a decade, building blockchain expertise and laying down the rails for stablecoin payment long before the rest of the market caught on. The early start gave us a real edge, and today our APIs make it possible for payment to move seamlessly across chains. But being early is only part of the story. What really sets us apart is our compliance foundation. In the US, we already hold extensive licenses, and we are advancing in Japan, EU, and other regions. For financial institutions, those regulatory guardrails are what create confidence and trust. And beyond the tech and compliance, we also have something rare, a real-world ecosystem that fits directly into OwlPay. Our hospitality and e-commerce platform give us the built-in distribution channel, meaning adoption isn't just theoretical, it's already happening. Our strategy for growth has several layers, but they all connect around one vision: scaling OwlTing into backbone of global payments. We are extending our licensing footprint, adding approval across Asia, EU, and build on the US foundations we already have. At the same time, we are rolling out institutional-grade solutions, things like white-label AML and KYC modules, and wallet infrastructure, so banks and fintech can plug into our rails quickly. We are also learning into partnership and M&A. By deepening integration with OTAs, e-commerce, and financial institutions, and by selectively acquiring payment gateway for licensing entities, we expand our reach even faster. And finally, we are targeting high-growth verticals: remittance, small business cross-border payment, and stablecoins. These are multi-trillion-dollar markets, and they are already ripe for disruption. With this strategy in motion, OwlTing is poised to capture outsized value as global payments shift towards stablecoins-enabled rails. And with that, it's my pleasure to introduce our CFO, Winnie, who will take you through a recap of the company's financials.
Thank you, Darren. Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I'm Winnie, CFO of OwlTing Group. Let me take you through our financial performance, which reflects a consistent track record of growth and scaling across our business segments. In 2024, we delivered revenue of $7.6 million, up 18% year over year. The strongest momentum came from payments, which contributes $4 million, more than double from 2023, and is now our largest revenue driver. Transaction volume grew 62% year over year to about 290 million, and active accounts were up nearly 10% to around 3,900, which shows steady adoption. Payment has clearly become the core of our business, and we expect it to continue leading our expansion going forward. Last year, a substantial part of our service was focused on fiat transaction under payment gateway service. But with the launch of new products and services, including Alipay Arbor and the rising adoption of stablecoins, we expect to see new revenue stream emerging on top of our existing base. Hospitality has been steady and reliable. Our annual recurring revenue grew 25% year-over-year to $966,000, with a dollar-based net retention rate of 107.7%. Subscriber count increased 10% year-over-year to more than 2,500 hotels and lodging partners on our platform. With this strong retention and recurring revenue base, our hospitality segment provides a solid foundation of predictable growth and long-term stickiness in our ecosystem. And while e-commerce is a smaller revenue contributor today, it still plays a strategic role by connecting producers, consumers, and platforms, and increasingly serves as a feeder into our payment business. Altogether, this combination of repeat payment growth, stable hospitality revenues, and e-commerce feeding into payment demonstrates the strength of our diversified model and the foundation for sustainable growth ahead. On the cost side, operating expense was $9.9 million in 2024, compared to $8 million in 2023. Most of the increase came from G&A, mainly due to listing-related professional fees. Sales and marketing actually declined last year because of workforce optimization. Looking ahead, we expect sales and marketing to grow as we scale more aggressively and expand our business reach. R&D continues to increase as we invest in system and technology enhancement. Going forward, R&D will remain important, but the pace of growth will be slower, and as transaction volumes reach greater scale, its costs should become more stable related to revenue. Overall, while we are still in a growth and investment phase, we are managing expenses with discipline to ensure scalability and capture operating leverage over time. At the bottom line, we reported a net loss in 2024, which was wider than the prior year. The increase was mainly tied to listing preparation, regulatory license application, and investment in compliance, technology, and global expansion. These are upfront investments that we see as critical to building long-term strengths in payment and stablecoins. Importantly, they also lay the groundwork for operating leverage as our licensing base expands and payment volume continues to scale. We view this result as consistent with our stage of development, and with our scale increasing, we are confident that operating leverage is starting to come true and that we are on a clear pace to break even, while continuing to expand our reach and capture new opportunities ahead. That concludes our financial review. With momentum building and a clear pace ahead, I would like to turn it over to Darren to show more about our upcoming listing plans and the vision behind them.
When we look at the timing, a US listing today makes strategic sense. The cross-border payment market is at an inflection point. Stablecoins are no longer just an experiment. They are gaining regulatory clarity in the US, Europe, and Asia. The rails are being laid right now, and the winners will be those who move early. That momentum meets where we are as a company. Over the years, we have scaled beyond e-commerce into payment, hospitality, and a full ecosystem that's already showing real adoption. With multi-jurisdiction license and a compliance-first infrastructure, we are not just prepared to enter the global market, we are already operating in it. And that brings us to why NASDAQ and why now. A direct listing highlights the financial discipline and investor support that got us here. while giving us the visibility and credibility to play on a global stage. In positions, OwlTing not just a part of the shift in the payment, but as a leader driving it forward. The market is opening, OwlTing is ready, and the Nasdaq listing is the natural next step in our journey. This is more than just a listing. It's about building the global stablecoin infrastructure that will define the future of payment. We are excited to lead this change, and even more excited to have you with us on this journey.
Welcome back to the live portion of our Investor Day. Thank you all once again for joining us. Darren has just outlined why now is truly the right moment for OwlTing to enter the public market. And that concludes the formal presentation part of today's program. We will transition into our live Q&A session soon. Our team welcomes questions from all members of audience. So whether you are a sell-side or buy-side analyst, a banker, a retail investor, a member of the media, or simply someone interested in learning more about our company. If you have a question, please type it into the Q&A box in the Zoom chat. We ask that you include your name and organization. We completely understand you may not be speaking on behalf of your company, but it's helpful for us to know where each question is coming from. We will do our best to address as many as possible. Joining us today to respond directly are Darren, Winnie, John, Maras, and Gina. For now, we'll leave you several minutes for typing your question. Thank you very much. Thank you. We have already received many soulful questions from you. Thank you for the engagement. So we have our first question. The first question is from Kenneth from HSBC. Our first question is for Darren. So Darren, how did you view the outlook for the crypto and blockchain payment industry over the next 5 to 10 years? And where do you see OwlTing position within that landscape?
Hi, everyone. I'm Darren. I'm the founder for the company. So I think in the next few years, most of today's traditional financial models from payment, settlement, remittance, even treasury will migrate onto blockchain rails. The drivers are clear: faster settlement, lower costs, and greater transparency, backed by stronger regulatory clarity. The regulation is really important. And OwlTing has prepared the shift from the start. We built a fully compliant bridge between traditional finance and Web3, embedding license, anti-money laundering, and custody standard. So our partner can rely on the same level of trust they expect from the established payment networks. So we have kept our platform completely open. Besides USDC, OwlPay also supports EURC, the USD, Yen, and multiple blockchains. With the flexibility to add any stablecoin that gains adoption, the openness positions the company to grow as the market evolves. Finally, we don't see Web3 replacing traditional finance. We see the converging. That's why we partner with the global leaders like Visa, Yen, connecting their network to the blockchain. Our role is to be the connector, ensuring enterprise and consumers can transact safely and seamlessly across both worlds. So blockchain payment will go to the mainstream. Our company is positioned to power the transition, not just participant, but the shaper for the new financial infrastructure. Thank you.
So our next question is here for you, Darren. What would you say are our strongest competitive advantage that differentiate us from our peers? The question comes from Aaron from JPM. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's a very good question. I think our strength comes from how we build OwlPay as an open platform. We're not just locking ourselves into one blockchain, one token, or even one network. Today, we support USDC, Euro stablecoin, the USD, Yen, and native assets across different blockchains like Ethereum, Avalanche, Polygon, and Stellar networks. Yeah, so I think soon they will be covering the blockchain from Coinbase base. So the way we design our infra means we can quickly extend to whatever stablecoin customer actually want to use the adoption. By openness alone, it's not enough. We pair it to the discipline of traditional finance. Every transaction on our page runs through the compliance and security network that's held to the same standard as the licensed financial institution like bank. That back us on the certified US transmitter license and registration in Japan, EU, and more coming from Asia like Singapore, Hong Kong, and even Latin America. So globally, very few players in the industry can say they build a global regulatory foundation. At the same time, we offer both plumbing applications. OwlPay Harbor gives traditional fintech and institution the API they need, while OwlPay Payment Wallet Pro serve as business and individual consumers. There was one of the few platforms that can power both enterprise B2B flows and consumer remittance. And it's just not just saying that ourselves, CB Insight also ranks us as the top 2 global players in the enterprise stablecoin infra, which one of the highest Mosaic score in the industry. Yeah, so what sets us apart isn't just one thing, it's a combination, open by design, built for compliance, full stack for infra, and recognized leadership in the space. That's the foundation we are scaling into the backbone of the borderless economy. So thank you for the great question.
Thank you for your insight, Darren. What really comes through is that OwlTing even bet in just on one token, one network, or one business model only. And moving next, we have a question on financials from Mr. Tang, research analyst at Specify Capital. So Winnie, be ready to answer on this one. Can you walk us through your path to profitability? And where did you expect the company to break even?
Hi everyone, I'm Winnie. I think this is a critical question. our path to profitability is driven by scale in payment. Payment is a volume business. Once the rails are in place, each additional transaction generates revenue with minimal cost. So most of the heavy investment in license, compliance, and infrastructure are behind us. So costs should normalize post-listing, while our hospitality and e-commerce ecosystem helps big transaction into payment, lowering customer acquisition costs. So that said, we are not trying to cut our way to profitability. This is a fast growing industry, and we will continue to invest in technology, compliance, and geographic expansion. For us, profitability is not a one-time milestone, but about building a sustainable model where payment, hospitality, and e-commerce reinforce each others. While we remain loss-making today due to continued investment, we are approaching this in disciplined way. While we don't guide to a specific break-even date, we see a clear path as volume scale, margin expands, and when the cost subside.
Thank you, Winnie. Maybe a follow-up for you. Since your revenue is mainly driven by scale in payments, how did you think we can achieve scale in the long run? And this question will be answered by Winnie.
Sure. We see three main lever to reach scale. First, should be networks and channels. Our hospitality and e-commerce as project give us the right access to OTAs, online travel agents, and other e-commerce platform, which naturally drive a transaction into payment and help lower customer acquisition costs. And second, should be market footprint. We have already, for instance, in the US and Japan, and we are in the process of applying for licensing in Singapore, Hong Kong, and EU. That position us to expand quickly into new geographies and onboard larger clients. And the last one should be product adoption. OwlTing Harbor and OwlTing Wallet Pro are still early in monetization, but as adoption builds, GPV scales repeatedly on top of our infrastructure we have already invested in. And this is reinforced by the fact that market adoption of a stablecoin is growing, which make our product even more relevant. The path of achieving scale still will depends on adoption or market conditions, but these are the strategic level we are focused on.
Appreciate the detail, Winnie. From an investor lens, it's encouraging to hear that the heaviest expense, including licensing, compliance, infrastructure, are largely behind you. That create a path where margin naturally expand as scale picks up. Thank you for the response. And next question is on technology. And this question is asked by Tony from DBS. And we'll have John to answer this question. The question is, OwlTing Harbor seems to be a core differentiator. What prevents other competitors from copy and paste of what you have built?
Thank you. What really sets Harbor apart is that it's not just about the technology. It's the combination of licenses, compliance, settlement rails, and partnerships we've already built. So, for a larger player to replicate this, it would take years of regulatory approvals, integration work, and relationship building. On top of that, we move faster and stay closer to customer needs, which make us very hard to copy.
Thanks, John. I think the answer really makes clear that hardware isn't just a piece of technology. It's a years of license, compliance, and partnership built into it, all of which create a moat that difficult for competitor to copy quickly. And moving on to the next question. The question comes from Samuel, research analyst at Lighthouse Partner. So the question is, from your website, I saw that you have partnership with other big players and perhaps potential competitors, which clearly add credibility and scale. If your partner were to launch their own competing stablecoin payment solution, how should we think about the potential competitive risk to OwlTing? I think that's a very good question. Maybe Darren, do you want to jump in on this one?
Yeah, thank you, Harry. So apologize. I lent a little bit, my focus. So that's a very good question. I think we, as you know, we have some partnership in the space. Key players like credit card networks are our partners today, and become maybe competitors in the future. But the way we see is the duality actually makes us more resilient. And when the companies collaborate with us, they are not charity organization. It's because we bring the complementary capabilities. So OwlPay is one of the few platforms that offer a full stack compliance-first solution, integrate both fiat and stablecoin rails over 190 countries and 40 currencies. From front-end developer processing the API integration to the OwlPay harbor and custody with the Wallet Pro, our interoperability and licensing footprint can be replicated overnight. So it's very hard, very difficult to copy our technology and compliance regulation and license altogether. So it's very critical. We have a secure and keep applying for the license in different regions, US, Japan, EU, Singapore, Hong Kong, Latin America. A process that take several years to accomplish, relies on our license partner to operate within regulatory frameworks. So OwlPay is already positioned as the license bridge. And so many fintech companies, they don't have the capability to apply for the global license, but we can offer our license to open to them to accelerate the ecosystem's growth. So we are also differentiated from our ecosystem. Besides payment, we have verticals from e-commerce, from particular travel industry like hospitality, food traceability. Everything goes to OwlPay, adding our hybrid Web2 solution to Web3 payment, where a small business owner, they can support stablecoin, but still settle into fiat. So you have a very clear adoption advantage in the market, like Vietnam, Mexico, Brazil. So if the company in the financial industry lean harder into blockchain, we see less as a threat, but more like a validation. Their entry grows to the market and makes an interoperability even more important. So OwlTing is the leading players, and I think we can become the logical partner of choice. Thank you.
Appreciate the way you framed that, Darren. What I'm hearing is that where a large network could launch their own solutions, OwlTing already has the compliance approvals, the licensing footprint, and the integration work that simply cannot be developed overnight. That's a good question. And moving on to next, we have another question on financial for Winnie. This question has come from media. And can you walk us through the take rate dynamics in your payment business?
Thanks, Darren. I think there isn't really a single precise number we can point to for our take rate, since it varies by product and region. What we can share is the Chen. Our blended take rate today include third-party processing fees, some FX rate, and the transaction fees we capture directly, and that the ratio is growing because fewer transactions rely on third-party service, as OwlPay Harbor and OwlPay Wallet Pro scale, and stablecoins gain wider adoption. So a larger portion of fee are captured by us. Even if the blended numbers shift with product mix or geography, the story is pretty simple. As Marlins builds and adoption grows, our take rate keeps moving up over time.
Thank you, Winnie, for your response. Thank you, Winnie, for your response. And the next question is back to tech, which comes from Daniel, who is representing KD Capital from Taiwan. And I will leave this question again to John. How does OwlPay balance compliance, security, and user experience across its solution, including crypto wallet service?
Yes, thank you, Daniel. We design compliance directly into the system, so most checks happen automatically in the background. This ensures that low-risk transactions remain fast and seamless, while only higher-risk cases require additional review, keeping us fully compliant without slowing users down. With OwlPay Wallet Pro, we extend this approach to both custodial and non-custodial options. For custodial wallets, we safeguard private keys through multi-party computation on our side. And for non-custodial wallets, keys are encrypted and stored only on the user's device, with all signing happening locally. That way, we maintain strong compliance and security standards while giving users the flexibility to choose the model that best fits their needs. Thank you.
Thank you, John, for your detailed answers. And we have another question from Tim, investment manager at Joet Investment. So the question is, cross-chain settlement is very complex. How does OwlPay ensure seamless interoperability, and what advantage does this provide for business? Maras, I believe you have worked very long hours on this project. Do you want to elaborate more details?
Yeah, thank you. Everyone, hello, I'm Marat. And I believe OwlPay Harbor tackles interoperability and with purpose-built smart country list implement single CCTP, allowing seamless collection of transaction fees and completion of cross-chain settlements across EVM compatible chains and Solana. Yeah, and for enterprises, this means they don't need to build maintain separate integrations for every chain. Even if they set up their own blockchain, they will still have to move across different networks. By focusing on the interoperability layer, OwlPay eliminates this friction, enabling business to stay connected to the broader ecosystem without abating one single chain.
Thank you, Maras, on your insights. Let's move forward on the next question. And there's another question on OwlPay from Maras. Given the sensitivity of handling both fiat and digital asset, what security measures are in place to safeguard customer asset and data? The question is also from media.
Yeah, for this question, we follow the international standard like NIST and ISO 27001. For enterprise wallets, we use MPC technology to remove single point erasing. And for personal wallets, keys are encrypted and stay on the user's own device. All funds and the data are protected with a strong encryption and continue monitoring. Yeah.
Thanks, Maras. It's good to hear that the company aligned with global standards like NIST and ISO 27001 that immediately signal a high level of discipline. And we just received another question for our CFO, Winnie. How are you thinking about the capital allocation post-listing? Should we expect more focus on organic investment? Or do you also anticipate pursuing M&A opportunities? The question is from Bill, portfolio manager at Hsieh.
That's a great question, and we have spent a lot of time thinking through as we get ready to come to market. At a high level, our capital allocation is guided by two principles: investing where we see the greatest strategic impact and leverage, and balancing near-term discipline with long-term value creation. Our main focus after listing will be organic growth. We will continue investing in technology and product development, strengthening our licensing and compliance, and expanding into new markets. Payment are the key drivers of our growth, and there's significant room to scale OwlPay. Our compliance footprint is also a real advantage. It gives us market access, create barrier to interest, and support long-term expansion. That said, M&A is also part of our playbook. Our acquisition of PayNow in 2023 is a good example of how we can identify, integrate, and scale a target in a way that accelerate growth and strengthen our platform. Going forward, we will stay disciplined and only consider highly strategic opportunities, financial institution or technology providers that can expand our reach, enhance our offering, or speed up adoption. I will also note that our decision to execute a direct listing is not about whether we need to raise capital for growth. It's about positioning OwlTing to be a stronger partner for global financial institutions, regulator, and enterprises. A public company profile gives us the credibility to accelerate both organic and inorganic growth drivers. Rather than setting a region allocation, our approach is to stay disciplined. Most of our resource go into organic growth, while we keep the flexibility to pursue M&A when it's highly strategic. Thank you.
Thank you, Winnie. I think investors will appreciate your disciplined approach, prioritizing organic growth in technology, compliance, and licensing, while still remain open to acquisition that add real strategic value. And due to the time limit, we will have our one last question to close the Q&A session. And I found one from Mr. Liu, who worked at MS. I think our CEO, Darren, will be the perfect person on this one. So Darren, what's your long-term vision for the company? And how should investors think about the scale and scope OwlTing is aiming for?
Hi, thank you, Henry. So before we close the meeting, I would like to thank everyone for today's participation. The management team really appreciate everyone's time. So to answer your question, I think that goes back to the fundamental. How does people, using OwlPay infra to get a stable coin? For example, I think right now everyone has some trouble to get a stable coin. Like in the future, near future, we are building the infra for everyone to use, like debit card, credit card, to fund the fiat into the stable Web3 stablecoin wallet, so people can use the infra to do the remittance globally. I think that's the very core question and the vision for the company. So we want to make stablecoin, as easy, to get as, the fiat wallet right now. Yeah, and I think so to better portray the company in the long term, I think the company will be the fintech infra, more like a Visa, Mastercard, to power the new payment between traditional bank, payment wallet, payment gateways, and then helping online travel agency to send the money easily, faster, and quicker than before. I think that's the long-term vision for the company, and that's everyone's goal in the company as well. Yeah, so I think that goes back to the fundamental. How does the company help payment company to easily has the technology, quickly go to the market and make it commercialized? There's the long-term vision for the company. We want to power every transaction in the world, in the future world. Thank you, Henry.
Great conclusion, Darren. What's there now is that isn't just becoming a payment company. It's about underpinning commerce across industry, border, and use case. And to wrap up, I want to say thank you, Darren, Winnie, John, Maraz, and Gina, for sharing your perspective today. And most importantly, thank you to all of our investors for joining us. We are grateful for the insight project from you, and we hope today's session gives you a more comprehensive view of OwlTing's vision, strategy, and long-term growth opportunities. This concludes our Investor Day. We truly value your continued support, and we look forward to keeping you updated as we move ahead on this exciting journey. Thank you again, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.